Hello guys. So now, since I've already taught you arrays and 2D arrays, right? So now we're gonna create a game. We're gonna create the Tic Tac Toe, and so this is a sample of how it's gonna work. So let's try to run first. So it will ask a row and a column. So now I'm gonna give a row and a column. So 2 and then 1. By the way, the index 0 uh, is a first index. So 2 1 means the second row, 0 1 2 here this row, and then 0 1. So this is where we want to put our x. Let's see. Enter. So we have put there, and then AI have put here. Well, it's not AI, it's actually just using random class, but we'll assume that AI is playing. Okay, now 1 1. Then here actually we won't try to win. Let's see if the AI is actually winning or not. Oh, it did. AI entered 2 and 2, which is the row and column. So here is where it put the O, and AI actually won. Okay, so this is how it's gonna work, right? And if you wanna see more samples, it's kind of like this. Mm, and then let's say there's no spaces, right? and you have and you have covered everything. The game will still end by telling there's no space anymore, and then if you win, then it will show you have won. So this is how the program gonna work. So let's see how we're gonna code it. Okay, this is the code, but don't say it if you have already seen it. So okay, I've forgiven you. Okay, uh first of all, we need to create two objects to get the input, and for the scanner and the random to get the input and to generate a random number of for the for the computer, so that the opponent can play. So scanner and random scanner se.scanner system.in. Now random is equals to random, and yep. So now we gonna how we gonna start. Okay, we're gonna create a boolean to see is are there any spaces now. So has space is equals to true. Well, obviously during the start, uh, the matrix has 0 moves, so there's a lot of spaces, so there are some spaces. And then we're gonna create the matrix. Int no, we're gonna use string actually. So string, and we're gonna use matrix as a name. Matrix new string 3 rows and 3 columns. So this is where we're gonna record our moves. So now the string will have null as the value, as the value in the array. So as a default, I'm gonna use dot instead of null as a value. So I'm gonna assign dot to each element, to each index actually. Dot length, and then create another loop as this is 2D array. Matrix I dot length g plus plus, and then we just gonna assign dot. By the way, I will recommend you guys to try it by yourself first. It's really helpful, even before you checking with my answer. So it's okay. Let's continue. So we're gonna create a while loop, and the while loop, the condition here is has space. So as long as there's space inside of it, we're gonna keep on going on. So there's two ways that this game can break. First is has space. Actually, if there are no spaces, if there are no spaces, then the game will break, or it will end it. Or if someone won. Okay, let's actually give a label to this loop. So let's give game, as this is the whole game, right? So let's give the label game. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna print the matrix. As we see, if the matrix is not printed, then we have no idea where we're gonna put our move or our x. So let's print it. Okay, for int, actually let me just copy this and paste it here, and then I'm gonna print it. I'm gonna use matrix I j, and then I'm gonna give it some space, and then after each line I'm gonna put a line break. By the way, I actually forgot to do another thing, and that is I'm gonna create another boolean which name the player's turn. So player's turn. So what's the point of this is to see whether it's the player's turn or not. Well, at the first it is the player's turn. Well, that's how I coded it. So the program works by asking the player to play first. So if it's the player's turn, then the player will play. If not, the AI will play. And after the player have played, right, the player's turn will become false, so that the next time the AI have a chance to play. And after the AI have played, since the player's turn was false, that's why the AI has a chance to play now. Now it's the player's turn, so the player's turn will become true. So that's how you alternatively play. Okay, actually, let print the matrix first to see whether it's working or not. Okay, let's use a break here, just so we don't go to an infinite loop. Okay, let's try to run. And yep, we got all the dots. Okay, uh, let's see how the player is gonna play. We're just gonna ask enter row and column, and that's all. And then we're gonna get the row and column. Row and then column. So since we already got the row and column, we can assign it to the matrix. Matrix row column. Now we're gonna assign it to X, as the player is using X. Yep. So now for AI. So how are we gonna play for AI? the AI has to guess a number, guess a row and guess a column. But what if the row and column is already taken? So what we're gonna do, it's gonna guess until it finds a row and column that is not taken by anybody. So while true, we're gonna tell int row is equals to random dot next int, and then column random dot next int if matrix row and column is not, or actually it's equals to dot. So if it's equals to dot, you break. Okay, so if it's equals to dot is break, you break. But before you break, you print out the AI shows the row plus the column, and then you need to assign, don't forget to assign row column is equals to O. So if the matrix and the row and column that is randomly generated is not equals to dot, then it will keep on repeating until it finds that is equals to dot, because dot means there's no one has made a move on that point. So if it break, if this loop as broke, that means the AI has played. And then what do we do? Now we check if there are no spaces. So how do we check? So before we check if there are no spaces, it's better to check if someone won first. So how to see if someone won? So actually, right, let me use PowerPoint to explain. This is the Tic Tac Toe, right? The only way to win is get something, uh, get a pattern here, or here, or here, or you can get a pattern here, here, and here. Um, Actually, let me use a different color. Here, 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 and here is here, here, here. So horizontally or vertically, or we can get diagonally. We can get something here or here. So if you see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 patterns only in order for someone to win. So we just check all the 8 patterns. Okay, so let's check if someone has won horizontally. So we create a for loop int I 0 int and matrix dot length. Now we're gonna check if I have won, so if the X has won. So if matrix I 0 is equals to X, and then you just copy it and then you change the value. So now I'm checking 0, 1, 2. So I'm checking the row if there are same alphabet. So I'm checking if this thing exists somewhere. If one of the line has the same I got x 3 times, that means I have won. So break the game, the outer loop. But before you break, you tell you have won. But what if you have there's a pattern vertically? So to check that, you're gonna copy this and you're gonna use the same one but just change the position. So instead of being the row, now I will be the column. Okay, so if one other thing happens, then you have won. But what if the AI has won? So to check that, you can copy the same thing and then, by the way, use else if, so that if one of it is true, you don't have to check the others. Okay, now instead of X, now you check O. By the way, the code that I'm doing now might be not really efficient, and there might be better code or simpler code. But when you're learning how to do coding, it doesn't matter, because if you first understand and master the basics first, you can later on focus on how to make it more efficient and neat. Okay, so if there are three O's happening horizontally, then you can tell AI have won. If vertically, then AI have won. So you have checked all the horizontal. Now let's check for diagonal. Actually, we have checked horizontal and vertical. So now let's check for diagonal. For diagonal, it's kind of simple. You just check if these two things, if either one of it have 3x or 3o. So I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, so or okay. So now, since there are two cases, right? So one of it is a line like this. Another one is like this. So one numbers that we're gonna use for a diagonal line from top left to the bottom right. So we're gonna start from 0 0 and then 1 1 and then 2 2. So to go from bottom left to top right, we're going to go from 2 0 and 1 1 and 0 2. One of it happened, then AI have won. Then you break the game. Now you do the same thing for the player. So now you check X. Let's use it. So now you check X. So, but instead of AI have won, you type you have won. So now we have checked if someone has won or not. Now, what if there are no spaces anymore and you still can't play the game? So what are you gonna do? We're gonna change the hash space to false first. Okay. Now, if any of the element has dot as a value, you're gonna change the hash false to true. So for int j must be smaller than matrix I dot length. So if matrix I j is equals to dot, then you change hash space to true. And if this didn't happen, then hash space will be false. If that was false, then the game will quit. But let's say the game has a broken. It's either by someone winning or someone uh, either by someone winning or there are no any more space. So now you check if hash space is false or not. If it was false, that means there are no spaces. Then you just print here there are no spaces, just so that the user knows why they can't play anymore. So that's all actually, and hopefully you understood. And let's try to run it. Hopefully there are no errors. Enter row and column 2 and 1. Oops. Oh, yep. When we try to generate a number, right, we didn't give a value, so it will tell is 3, so that it can generate a number from 0 to 2. Okay, let's see if does it work. 2 and 1. Okay. Okay, let's try to win 2 0, and then if I put 2 and 2, I should win. Yep, you have won. Let's try a different one. Let's try to lose. Okay, how am I gonna lose now? 0 0. Okay, I'm gonna put 2 0. Okay, well, I can put 0 1. Yes, now the AI chose 2 2, so it has put this its O here, and now AI won. So that's how you create this game, or create Tic Tac Toe. And thank you for watching the video.